and taking it past midfield and down the sideline he goes. This is storybook. An opening kickoff return for Damar Hamlin.
2nd and 17. Hamlin has time. Intercepted. Sauce Gardner's got it.
And the Kansas City Chiefs have won Super Bowl 57.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Sportorium podcast. Make sure you guys follow us, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Keep up to date with everything. Today, we're going to start our positional rankings for the upcoming draft. We're going to start out with the offense. Today, we're going to go over the quarterbacks. So, we're going to go over my top 5. We're going to talk about it, then we'll reiterate who our top 5 are at the end.
That works.
But, starting off, my number 5. This is maybe a little interesting because of there's no bias here. You'll see why I mean this. There's no bias. I have Hendon Hooker as my QB5. So
I agree.
It hurts. It definitely hurts to put him here, but I mean he's going to be 25. He's coming off an ACL injury. He was in an offense that, like, it would be impossible to not succeed. And it's not like he's a perfect prospect and just put in a perfect offense. Like he has some concerns. Between just obviously the age, the injury, his pocket presence is like, it's pretty good, but he just tends to just stand still in the pocket sometimes. Like he'll kind of feel pressure, but also just like not move. So he'll just accept sacks. We haven't really been able to see the testing, obviously, because he's been hurt. But I mean, you just look at the production. I think a team will jump all over it, maybe in the first round, early second or something, because elite production in the SEC is hard to come by, regardless of what the offense is. So
True. I mean, his hands are huge. He's got, 10 and a half inch hands. So that's going to boost his draft stock big time. He can make all the throws. He's very, very accurate. He's an excellent quarterback overall. He's smart. He's a team leader. Just, he has that ACL injury, and he's 25.
Mm-hmm.
So, how's that Tennessee offense? It's nothing like the NFL, correct?
It is like the farthest thing that you could have from an NFL offense, basically.
Yeah, so that's a big concern as well.
Yeah, he basically didn't have to. I mean, he obviously had to read defenses, but it's generally you have this is what you're doing, just do it, and most of the time it worked out. But he even said
True.
it's not my fault that my first read is always open, which is funny but also true. But
True.
When you go into the NFL, that is not always the case. So I still think that he could be a good pro, but his arm is, he doesn't have a bad arm. He has a pretty strong arm, but I feel like he lacks velocity on the shorter intermediate throws. The deep ball is sometimes it gets a little away from him, or it's a little shaky, but he can make all the throws. He's a good quarterback. If he was 2 years younger, not coming off an ACL injury, he's probably in contention to go first overall.
That is true. He has a few things to work on. He stands flat-footed sometimes, and sometimes he relies on his arm too much. When he scrambles, it leads to, inaccurate passes. So,
yeah,
but
and
it could all be fixed in the NFL.
Yeah, potentially. You got to fit into the right system. And also I don't know how it's going to be after his ACL injury, but me and my friends literally always said this, that when he ran, his cuts were so aggressive. Like Derrick Rose in the NBA, you just knew his knees were going to get cooked because the way he's just just explosions. And every single time that he planted his foot, it was just so much stress on that knee. We literally called it happening this year because he was making the most aggressive cuts ever.
It's your fault. It's all your fault.
It might be. But yeah, that's my QB. Love that guy, but we'll see. I could definitely see him going in the first round, like late first, if somebody wants to take a chance, or even a Lamar situation if somebody wants to hop in from the second round. Who knows? But yeah, that is my QB5.
There you go. Agreed.
And then my QB4, we go with Will Levis.
Agreed.
Will Levis has issues. I'm really not a big fan of Will Levis. I think that I don't like his mentality, really. Everybody says oh, he's a great leader, but he's pretty cocky in my eyes.
He says he can throw the ball 80 yards. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean he does have a ridiculously strong
He
arm.
might have the strongest arm in the draft.
There's a chance for
So,
it. He's got some pretty
yeah.
big hands. 10 and 5
Yeah.
eighths. Like zip off of his release is like Aaron Rodgers-esque because it just like it escapes his hand with some velocity. But
Yeah.
there are very large accuracy concerns. If you look
Yeah.
at the past year's tape, terrible. But he was battling injuries. He lost his top receiver. Kentucky just really wasn't that good. And then you look at the year before, and he was phenomenal. And he had like I think 7 rushing touchdowns compared to 1 or 2 this year. So when you look at the past tape from 2021, awesome, fantastic prospect. But then you look at this year's tape, and you're like, this is a completely different player. So you can't go just based on one or the other and say, oh, he's terrible because his tape from last year. But you just don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And even in both seasons, the accuracy was definitely an issue on all throws.
Well, another thing is his O-line is terrible.
Oh, yeah. Kentucky sucks.
So, yeah, his stats are not the best because of that. And because of that, he gives up on plays a little too quickly. He also doesn't recognize blitz and end coverages, which, it's hard to when you're getting slammed all the time. So,
yeah, his pocket awareness sometimes is lackluster, to say the least.
yeah.
Like, I remember there's a few times where it's just like his right tackle gets blown up, obviously not his fault, but then he just gets blindsided and it doesn't like feel the pressure at all.
Yeah.
Left, if it's coming from your backside, that's maybe understandable, but like, how do you not feel or see? Like, that's just straight tunnel vision.
Yep, that is true.
Yeah,
and he's also 24. He's older.
He is old too. So we're going to talk about Anthony Richardson in a second, but you look at these guys who you'd like for them to sit and develop. If you're a 24-year-old comparing to Anthony Richardson, who's 21, you don't have as much time to sit and develop this guy. You kind of expect someone that old to just be ready, and as soon as you draft them, they're going to be your starting quarterback and hopefully be good.
True.
But he's got some issues. I'm not a big fan of Will Levis. I could see him going at number 4 to the Colts. What I think his actual value is probably a mid to late first. I don't think he'll fall that far. There's a possibility, but
doubtful.
Yeah, I doubt.
So, because he does have a lot of hype right now.
He does. He has a great arm. He's athletic. He's prototypical size. There's a lot of things to love, but just between
a lot of things to hate as well.
Exactly.
He's like a terrible leader. Like I've seen that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen mixed reports because like who's like posting shirtless pictures and stuff. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Just stop. But then they also say that he's like a fiery competitor and his teammates rally around him and stuff. So who knows what the reality is? I guess we'll see. Not a big fan of Will Levis, but yeah, he is my QB4.
Same here.
All right. And now my QB3, a lot of hype behind this guy, Anthony Richardson, AR-15. His stats are just abysmal. He has like 50% completion percentage or something disgusting, but he might be one of, if not the most athletic quarterback prospects we've ever seen.
Cam Newton Jr.
Yeah, and he's probably even more athletic than Cam Newton, just not as strong, I'd say.
Yeah.
But, I mean, look at these numbers. Like
he ran a 4.43. Gross.
Vertical jump, 40 and a half, 10-9 broad jump. I'm pretty sure like 3 out of 4 of those were records with his 10-yard split also. He is just... Jeez. He's the ultimate boomer bust. Everybody's going to compare him to Josh Allen because boomer bust prospect, but I think it's very different because Anthony Richardson has I guess flashed. There's been a couple times where like, he can throw a football and he's made some good plays, but most of the time, same as Will Levis, just inaccuracies on all levels of throws. But what's you can't deny is the athleticism, the arm talent. Just if he pans out, he could be the best quarterback in the NFL. 100%. If he is put in the perfect scenario and he develops perfectly, he could be the best quarterback in the NFL.
Yep, I agree. You know, the kid's just a freak. He was 10% body fat.
Something like ridiculous.
Just an animal. There's no pass he can't make. And for a big guy, he scrambles real well. He's got a real quick release too. So
yeah, it's inaccurate. He's inconsistent because he can make throws that'll be like, oh my God, that's ridiculous. And then the next throw, he misses a screen.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
Well, he has a bad habit of like throwing off his back foot.
Yeah, he's the
I don't know what that's about.
his mechanics are not great. That's
Yeah,
definitely
they're
something
hit or
that,
miss for sure.
yeah, and the whole thing is just inconsistency because there's some times where
Yeah.
he looks like a perfect prospect, and then literally the next play he's throwing flat-footed off his back foot into triple coverage. Like, what are you doing? But
True.
yeah, I could see this guy going number one just because his traits are unfathomable, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it needs to be in
I
a
have
perfect situation.
I have him as number 2.
I don't hate that at all because he's just an athletic freak. It just
Yep.
he's also so young. I'm pretty sure he's played like how many total games of college football? Like 12 or something? Something
Really?
ridiculous. Because this was his first year as a starter, and
Wait, he's only 20 years old. Wow.
yeah, no, he's very young. So that's
Yeah.
what I was saying with like Will Levis. Are you going to take a guy that you're going to need to develop that's 21 or 24?
Mm-hmm. True.
If Anthony Richardson doesn't go up ahead of Will Levis, I'm going to be surprised, but I do not agree whatsoever.
Yeah.
With that. Because I mean, they have the same inaccuracies, the inconsistencies, and everything. Why would you not want to work with a guy who has the ceiling of the best quarterback in the NFL?
True.
We'll see
Very
if that
true.
pans out, but it needs to be a perfect situation. And
Yeah.
I really like the Panthers as a spot for them, as a spot for him before they made the trade up, though.
Yeah. Now you can't.
No, you can't take. That's way too much of a gamble, I think, at least.
Yeah.
If you do it, power to you, but you better hope that works out because you gave up a lot.
Yeah.
But he's
They'll mess it up somehow. Yeah.
Maybe. Right, and then going to my QB2, CJ
What do you
Stroud.
got? Okay, good. Same here.
Yeah.
Well, he's my 3.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, CJ Stroud he's a very good prospect. He's probably the best just like natural thrower of the football. Like he could just put the ball wherever he wants to put the ball. He's got prototypical size, and he is athletic, and we've spoken about this before. You saw it during the Georgia game where he could get out of the pocket and create and make plays, but that's basically the only time we saw it. So if you look at
he's
one game and be like, oh, he's this improviser, he could make plays on the run and everything. He hasn't done that. He did it one time.
Yeah, no, he's a pocket passer, and the NFL is changing, and all these quarterbacks can scramble. This guy can't. He's like a statue in there.
Yeah, but he can though. That's the whole thing. Like he can,
but he doesn't.
Exactly. And
So.
who knows? Maybe that's something that he'll work on when he gets to the NFL. If he does,
Yeah.
great. And it's not like he needs to be like an Anthony Richardson scrambling out of the pocket but like when he needs to, if he could go pick up 10 yards, go get a first down, which he did in the Georgia game. If he could add that to his like normal game, then he's made almost a perfect prospect.
Yeah. I don't know. He's Ohio State quarterback. I know, you can't draft and,
Can't scout the helmet. Got to scout the player.
Yeah. But Ohio State quarterbacks suck. So,
okay,
anyway.
this is an argument for Ohio State quarterbacks. What Ohio State quarterbacks came out recently that were high draft picks? Dwayne Haskins.
Mhm.
That didn't work out, obviously.
Justin Fields.
And he looks okay so far.
As a running back, he sucks with his arm.
But he's still progressing. And it's way too early to say that he's a bust. It
is. It is.
And then other than that, who else do you really have? There's nobody that's been drafted high from Ohio State.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's going to be the difference maker, but
it's not even that he would be an exception. It's just like it hasn't happened. They've gotten a very bad rap recently, but I kind of don't understand because there haven't been that many. Like USC, maybe you could kind of say, but then again, like it's just Darnold and like
and Sanchez.
Mark Sanchez, and then before that was like Carson Palmer maybe, and Carson Palmer was good.
Could be.
So I don't know. I really hate the you draft or scout the helmet thing.
There's got to be something with it. That's all I'm thinking.
There's 100% not.
I guess we'll see. Only time will tell.
Joe Burrow went to Ohio State. He ended up transferring, but he was an Ohio State quarterback.
He got smart.
I don't
So,
think that the Ohio State thing has anything to do with it whatsoever.
maybe.
I will not evaluate him based on the school that he goes to. But
All right.
you do you. You do you.
Mhm.
Yeah, CJ Stroud, prototypical size. He's a big dude. He's got a great arm. He doesn't have like this cannon like Levis or Richardson, but he can make all the throws with zip. And he's so accurate, man. Any single
unless he's
place
under pressure.
under pressure, he kind of does break down a little bit. That's one of like
Yeah.
under pressure and just like not getting out of the pocket and making plays are probably the only two problems with him. I think he's a fantastic prospect.
Yeah, I mean the bad thing about him is the rushers don't have to worry about him escaping. They just as fast as they can get to him, that's it. Like you don't have to worry about him getting around the edge. Nope. So but besides that, the arm, he's smart, he's a good leader, he's got great vision, great accuracy.
Yeah. And
so
you'd also take into account, I guess this can relate to your Ohio State thing, is that Ohio State is such a good school. He had so many weapons. He had a really good O-line.
Yeah.
So he was put in a good situation. If you put Will Levis in that situation, maybe Will Levis does better. If you put CJ Stroud on Kentucky, does he do the same exact thing that Will Levis did? I don't know.
True.
He definitely had a good supporting cast, though. But
that is true.
I'm not going to really use that against him that much. Our consensus QB1, which is close. This is so close to me. I keep flip-flopping.
Really?
Yes. Bryce
not
Young,
close for me at all.
Well, it should be.
Clear number one.
But he's so small. That's
he's 5'10". Big what? I don't care. Drew Brees was small. Kyler's small.
It's not about the height, though. It's not about the height. It's about his frame. There has not been a small quarterback that is as skinny as he is. And yeah, sure, he weighed 204 at the combine. He had weights in his ankles or something, and was chugging gallons of water the day before.
Could be.
He weighed 195 pounds, less than that, the whole entire year. There's no doubt in my mind that he just put on artificial weight just for that weigh-in.
Never know. But once you get to the NFL, you're getting older. You put on that weight.
Yeah, but you just look at his body; it just doesn't look like that. He has a small frame.
I don't know. The
Kyler's like stocky. Russ is stocky.
Yeah.
I mean, Drew Brees was even stockier than Bryce Young. Bryce Young is like basically a toothpick.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's a very, very large concern, but he is an absolute playmaker.
He's a great leader, really high IQ. His hands are a little small.
So is the rest of them.
Yeah, that's true. He can make every throw in the NFL, even if he doesn't have elite arm strength. So he scrambles, he can make plays. The biggest thing is he lost 2 elite receivers last year, and he was still elite. So that's something to take into account.
This was like one of the worst Ohio or Alabama supporting casts that we've seen in recent memory. 100%. We spoke about it when we were doing our mock draft. Jahmyr Gibbs was the leading rusher and receiver for the team. That should not happen at Alabama. That Alabama-Tennessee game, that was probably the craziest football game I've ever seen in my life. And he's just so good at creating. Like, there are so many times you're like, oh, he's sacked, or oh, there's no way he's getting out of this. Somehow makes a play all the time. Just his ability to just react quickly. And there was one play in particular at the Tennessee game where the pocket was collapsing. It looked like he was going to scramble. The Red Sea parted, and he just could have just went. He's sprinting, stops literally at the line of scrimmage, like almost his toe on it, and then throws a touchdown pass. It's like, how do you have the field awareness to know exactly where you need to be? And that was apparent on many things. And everybody compares him to like Mahomes, which it's a weird comparison, but I could see it just because of the way that they create and just make incredible plays out of nothing.
True.
Which he does quite frequently.
If he puts on a little weight, all the concern will go away.
Yes, but since 2003, no quarterback who has weighed fewer than 207 pounds has been drafted in the first round.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
So he's going to be breaking records already.
I mean, what you're betting on is an anomaly. This has not happened. Someone this small has never succeeded. You're betting on the exception. And I think it's not a bad bet because he's just crazy. Like, he's so good. If he had 10 pounds on him, and I'm not even worried about the height really. It's more worried about just his body and how he could hold up. If he had 10 more pounds on him, I don't think that this is one of the better prospects that we've seen in years.
Yeah.
But that's really only my concern is just how small he is. And he was a
I
little
hear you.
banged up last year. He's fought some injuries. Nothing crazy, but injuries happen to anybody, but it's definitely a big concern for how small he is.
I hear you. I can't really argue there, but only time will tell.
Yeah, but he's a gamer.
Yes, he is.
And he's now the betting favorite to go first overall to the Panthers.
There you go. There you go.
There's two scenarios that are happening right now. It's either the Panthers love CJ Stroud and want the Texans to trade up to number 1, still get CJ Stroud. So they're kind of pushing the Bryce Young narrative.
Mhm.
So it's kind of psyching them out. Maybe they'll get an extra pick or whatever. Or they just really like Bryce Young. And there are two very possible scenarios. I know how much they like Stroud. At the pro day, they were all over him. They were talking about I think they said something about when he gets a house in Carolina or something. I don't know. But Bryce Young's been in for a visit. It's a crapshoot at this point who's going number 1. But it's one of the two.
Or the third outcome is they're idiots. They gave up way too much in the trade. And when that trade happened, Anthony Richardson was going first. So they're going to screw that up again.
There's no
and
way
go
he's
Anthony
going first. It's Bryce
Yeah,
Young or
you
CJ
never.
Stroud. I would be absolutely just floored if that happened.
I would laugh
Yeah, I mean, it's
so hard.
It's not even a terrible pick though, because his ceiling is ridiculous. If it was like Will Levis, then yeah, that's the worst pick of all time. But I could see how someone would fall in love with Anthony Richardson and think that they could develop him into what he can become. And I think that's a great coaching staff to do it. I don't think that's the right pick though. I also don't think it's going to happen, but who knows? We don't really know anything.
True.
Yeah. All right. So my top 5 in order got Bryce, CJ Stroud, AR-15, Will Levis, Hendon Hooker.
Young, Richardson, Stroud, Will, and Hooker.
Okay. So
yeah, so close.
This is the top 5 quarterbacks. You could throw Tanner McKee in here over Hendon Hooker. Don't, because that's wrong. These are top 5 guys. The order 1 and 2 you could flip flop. You could maybe throw Anthony Richardson around there. I've seen Hooker as a third quarterback here, and I don't hate it, but there are serious concerns for Hendon Hooker. And I'm saying this as I'm literally sitting in the University of Tennessee as we speak. This is very unbiased. Yeah, overall, it's a weird quarterback class. There's some guys down the board. It's the UCLA guy. Why am I blanking on his name? DTR.
Dorian Thompson-Robinson?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
He's
guy.
probably going to be maybe even undrafted, but he could become something. There's
True.
There's other guys down the board, you get to talk about
Jaron Hall, Stinson Bennett, yeah. What I heard Max Dugan. Who's that? Does he? Because I heard his name come up a bunch lately.
Yeah, he's the TCU quarterback, and TCU had a ridiculous year, but
so that's why.
He is a bad prospect. That's the same as saying that Stetson Bennett is getting draft type. Stetson Bennett sucks. I hate Stetson Bennett.
He's great. He's great.
100% is not great. He's a little baby boy. He's good in college, but that means absolutely nothing. He had the most stacked 2 times in a row. He had the most stacked team in college football.
That is true.
It's
really funny too?
To fail.
He is taller than Bryce Young.
He is, and he is a small little boy. He weighs it says he weighs 192 and Bryce Young weighs 204. I wouldn't be surprised if Stetson Bennett's walking around weight is the same or more than Bryce Young's.
Who knows?
Yeah, it's a weird quarterback class. The top guys they're good, but
Clear.
I wouldn't be surprised if Bryce Young or if the Texans don't take Stroud or Bryce Young and literally just tank for Caleb Williams next year. I could see that there being a scenario where the quarterbacks slide a little bit, and that would kind of start with we would know what's going to happen if the Texans don't go quarterback there.
I feel like they have to.
I feel like
they would have traded out already.
There's still a possibility for that, and there's still a possibility they just take Will Anderson at number 2 or something.
That is
or
true.
Jalen Carter. I mean, you got D'Amico
I don't
Ryans.
think so, but
there's definitely
It's
a possibility for it, though.
Definitely.
Because Caleb Williams and Drake May would go 1 and 2 in this draft. They are can't miss prospects.
Mhm.
So if a team really sees like such a dramatic difference, like the Texans, if they see such a dramatic difference from who they would get, whether it's Stroud or Bryce, compared to that guy, why would you settle now? You're probably not going to be good this year anyway, regardless of
True.
who your quarterback is. So why would you not wait another year? If you could trade out, let's say the Raiders want to go to 2 and get a quarterback. You go back to 7, you get a good prospect, you get a few more draft picks. You'll have enough to go up and get Caleb Williams next year if you wanted to, or Drake May, or whatever it is.
True.
Interesting class though. But
Yep, that's for sure.
yeah, that's our top 5 quarterbacks. Next, we're going to go over receivers. That will be in the next episode. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you follow us Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Keep up to date. Only 2 more weeks till the NFL draft?
Right?
Should be a fun time. We Twitter just talking about Odell going to the Ravens. Ridiculous contract. I don't
For that
understand.
money, goodbye.
Yeah.
Don't care. If
Obviously-
you see my name,
You suck, Odell. If anybody can't see it, his
There you
name is
go.
You Suck, Odell.
Mhm.
I don't think he sucks. I think that he's a great player, and I think that his agent is a genius. There's
Yeah.
no way. I know the Jets probably offered him a lot. I heard that they offered him a lot more than people would think, but $15 million guaranteed is ridiculous.
for a guy that hasn't played in a year and change.
Yeah,
Okay.
and coming off of 2 major injuries on the same exact knee,
Yep.
the same exact injury, just twice in a row. It's ridiculous.
Listen. Bye-bye. Don't care.
It is what it is. But yeah,
Yeah.
hope you guys enjoyed. Till next time.